Hey y'all, this is David, Georgia Photographer, and today I want to talk about 4 things that helped me improve my street photography, and it may help you improve yours. Now before we get started with this video, I want you to hit the like button and subscribe button. Yeah, I want you to like it before you watch it. That way if you don't like it, you'll forget by then, and I'll still get the like. It's kind of a bait and switch. Anyway. What I want to do, that got me laughing. All right. What I want to do is I want to share these 4 things with you that I've been thinking about and see if you can apply these to your photography and maybe they'll help you with yours. All right, let's get right into this. Number 1 is look back through your catalog of street photos. Don't even go out. Just go fire up your computer and just kind of go through your photos and maybe select 100 and make a tick mark list of how many were of each kind of genre, if that makes sense. If you've been out and you've just been randomly taking photos and you really don't know what you like to shoot, you kind of do and you just don't realize it. If you go back through your catalog, it will literally show you the photos that you take the most of, and you'll start noticing whether it be cars or people riding bicycles. I know a guy that's in Europe that he photographs people on bicycles pretty much every day. He gets them coming straight at the camera. He's on Vero. I'll put his Vero handle on the screen here. But it's really interesting. You know, he's found that he enjoys doing that. There's any number of things. Maybe you like to photograph, you know, the evidence of man. Maybe you like to photograph teenagers. Maybe you got to photograph the elderly doing something. It doesn't matter. It's just what you do is you go through your catalog and then you start figuring out based on that catalog what you've been gravitating towards and not really realizing it. A lot of people just go out and take photos and then come home and dump them to their computer, and they'll pick one out that they think's Instagram worthy so that they can get a little bit of dopamine out of that off of the gram, and they'll edit that one, throw it on the gram, get them some likes, and then they'll move on. But what they don't realize is all those other photos that they collected tells the real story of what they enjoy to photograph. So that's number 1, is basically go through your catalog and see if there's a pattern forming of what you like to photograph. Go, look at that. Next day, expand on what I like to shoot is my number 2 item. And what that means is I will shoot some different things from my normal modus operandi. And I have a list of things I pivot to kind of give me motivation to get started, you might say. Some days you just don't, you know, you get to an area and you just don't feel it. And I have found that if I do this little exercise, that it seems to somehow kind of stimulate it and I get moving, and then once I get kind of in the groove, I start seeing photos, and it works really well for me. Things like street portraits, people in action, typically not reading their phones and just not walking down the sidewalk or across the street or whatever. Sometimes a person crossing the street can be interesting, but I'm just not drawn to that. Some people are, but I'm not. Like looking long down the street with a wide angle lens, that's a really good one for me. And another one I like to use is details of small items. You know, just do details. And because, you know, the details can evolve into evidence of man, or even lack of evidence of man, or things like urban decay or liminal spaces. All that sort of stuff comes from that. Another aspect that I use to improve my street photography a lot of times is I'll switch focal lengths. I always carry a lens of a different drastic focal length than what I'm shooting with, and what this will do is it'll force me to learn to compose differently. Like, well, it's a longer lens, I have to get further away, and I work with the compression of the lens, to where if I have a wide angle lens, I have to get a lot closer to fill the frame with the subject. And it's just a completely different mindset from the standards focal length to a wide angle to a telephoto. With this brings basically new creative requirements. So you just don't get to just shoot the same old thing all the time that way. So that's another one of my tricks in my bag. Number 4, Turn off the social media. All of it. Don't look at it before you go shoot. Don't try to get inspiration from others. Have a notebook. Write things down that you want to go shoot. Don't try to look online. The what do you call it? The apps, the websites, the algorithms are literally written to do things to your mind. It's scientifically proven. There'll be links in the description. I'll have them populating on the screen as I'm talking here. It has been scientifically proven that looking at Instagram is linked to anxiety and depression and terrible things like that. And there's nothing to get you down and not wanting to shoot faster than depression. So I don't even listen to it in the truck and let it play in the background like YouTube videos. None of that. Maybe listen to some motivational music or something of that nature, but absolutely don't engage in social media prior to shooting. It seems to be a big thing, and the more I've looked into it, the truer it is. And there you have it. There's the 4 main things that I apply to myself for better street photography when I'm out shooting alone typically. Now, I'm gonna give you the 4.5. What that is this. Choke up on your camera strap. See how I did that? See how it's just got a knot tied in it because this is a fixed length. And what you want is you want the camera to hang closer, higher up, so that it doesn't take as much to move it into position to get it to actually get it to where you can get the photo, where you can just push it out and take one looking at the back screen, or you can bring it to the eye or what have you. This is another thing I saw quite a few photographers online doing, and I started doing it too, and it improved things because you don't bruise the scene. You don't draw as much attention just moving it a little bit, pushing it out maybe, get your focus and fire the frame. It's a less intrusive means than pulling it up, because with this strap untied, it comes all the way down to my waist. It'll bounce off my belt buckle, and that's bad for a couple of reasons. One, I'm afraid it'll break the screen on the back of my camera, but number 2, it's a lot of movement and people see it. So it's just a little extra trick I've learned is, shorten the strap. Unless you need the length to get over like large coats or something, let the motorcycle go. But yeah, that's what I got. So if you haven't done it yet, I'd like to like and subscribe, like I said earlier. And until next time, get your camera out and go take a picture with it, all right? We'll see you later. Bye-bye.